here today with my wonderful colleagues, and we are presenting today about healing from racial stress. And what we've noticed is that there are more and more incidences where teenagers need assistance in identifying stress, and they need guidance on what to do when they face this type of stress. So let me introduce my colleagues. We are Social Time in Reality. I'm a clinical social worker for 25 years with a strong social justice background, and I'm a community leader. And then we have our colleague who is not here today but will be present, Mabel Sweeney. She's a wonderful multilingual educational advocate for 25 plus years of educational experience. And then we have Dr. Sharon Belton, and she is a psychologist of 20 plus years, a masterful clinician with an ability to intricately weave clinical and mental health systems to support families. And last but not least, we have Monique Martins Blunder. She is an inspirational, creative educational leader, and she is an innovative change agent that makes a positive difference in the lives of all. And together, we are Social Time in Reality. So we are going to do some discussion about understanding racism, exploring how racial stress can impact you, build your skills for navigating racism, and develop game plans for dealing with racism in the world. Special tribute, credit to Jessica Henry, Farzana Salam, Dana Cunningham, Nicole Kimmick, and Danielle Busby. And they are the creators of Healing Racial Stress Workbook for Black Teens. This is an evidence-based practice and is an amazing resource. So this is why we discussed why this is important. The reality is that 13% of Black and multiracial students report racial trauma often or very often. And this was from the Fairfax County 2024-25 survey. 42% of students exposed to at least one source of racial trauma. There's 42% according to the ACOMA project. 1 in 4 Asian American youth reported being victims of racist bullying, and that's according to the Virginia Kids Counter Center. 29% of Black students report feeling persistent and sadness and hopelessness. 36 Hispanic Latino students reported feeling persistent sadness and hopelessness, and 28% other multiple were reported feeling sadness and hopelessness. And what we know is that there's been a 54% increase in suicides among Black youth since 2019. And that is the reason why we are doing this presentation, and that's the reason why we know that kids need support.
So we like to, while we're thinking about this, and this important topic based on the data that was just presented, we would like to highlight, some takeaways that may, if you have mentors, work with youth groups, like to engage our youthful minds in different ways. We'd be happy to bring this to you. And what we're going to do today is highlight 4 sections of this workshop, of this topic of healing racial stress, that we will allow you to understand what this workshop is all about, how important it will be to our youth, and how it will prepare them for what they may not even realize is happening in the moment, in the real time. You know, each of us are going to highlight an area, and I think today we're going to start with Dr. Belton.
All right, hi everybody. So yeah, our goal is to just really make sure that you guys have takeaways once you take this workshop, is to have real life strategies, skills to be able to use to maneuver within your community, whether you're a parent or the child. You have some strategies that you can take with you once you've completed the workshop. And so our goal is to really make sure that we kind of are in tune to what's going on in our communities, what's going on in the world, especially now in terms of the social climate, and for our kids in terms of children of color, what that looks like, and preparing them to be able to handle and understand whatever situations they may go through when it comes to some type of racial discrimination, or trying to discern whether or not this was actually some form of racism. So I've been charged with to kind of look at thinking errors, and I think of it more in terms of like the race card. You know, you don't always want to play, but you know that somewhere in the back of your mind, is this a level of racism? And really starting to understand that and having strategies to kind of tease out whether or not this is considered racism, or is it just someone who is not very educated in terms of working or being with people of color. So providing real life examples, having the young people, because we geared this workshop towards young people, having them be able to identify certain situations, also identifying whether or not it's considered a thinking error, or is this something that actually is true to form in terms of how your body responds. I mean, we really put in a lot of time to present this information so that it is very useful for whoever takes the workshop, and there are a lot of takeaways. So this is really just a small snippet of what we have culminated in terms of trying to give our young people real tools to use on a day-to-day basis, as well as parents to give them talking points and that conversation starter to kind of begin to have those discussions at home when our kids come back from school, to say this is what happened, and really work through that within the family unit. So that was my charge.
Okay. So my charge was to really identify your feelings, what feelings one may have as a result of racial stress. Also, it's really important to identify whether that's frustration, helplessness, being scared, being sad, being angry. But there's multiple feelings that one may encounter. Naming that event that led to the high levels of racial stress that caused someone to feel scared, angry, helpless, or frustrated. Also, in naming an event that is important to you, that's made you feel empowered, happy, hopeful, and proud of your race. It's important to have that in your back pocket so that it can offset some of the negative beliefs that a teenager may be faced with. Positive affirmations are always great, such as I was created to change the world. And also assessing the level of stress using a scale from 1 being no stress to 10 being extreme stress. So after you've named the situation, you've assessed the level of stress, and then reflect on how the stressor affected your relationship, the teenager's relationship, and their reactions. So that's what I was tasked to present.
Okay. And so this workshop, so that you know, is full of activities. You know, we recognize that youth are typically on their phones or their iPads, so we created games and polls and quizzes and videos, so there will be an application to what they're learning in real time. What I am going to close with today is to let you know that we're here to help them create a plan to recognize covert racism, as well as identify, you know, their strings that support them when they are faced, when they do not know that they are faced. So we want you to know that this workshop will help them create their game card, their game plan, their scorecard, so that it's memorable. It's memorable for them to know exactly what to do and who to connect with. And we want you to recognize that those connections are in their lives, throughout their lives daily. Just to give away one small piece, do you recognize that a parent may go to one particular grocery store or family 2 or 3 times a week? You recognize that because you have a relationship with that cashier. I know this because I go to Food Line. I talk with all of them, from the manager to the cashier, every day. We laugh and we joke and we play around when I go through the line. It could be that one person that you feel connected most to, or perhaps it's someone in your school environment. Not to give too much away, but to let you know that as you go through your day, there are multiple venues, places, and people that you will connect with. In this workshop, we will help you identify, we will talk with you to build your safety strings and identify who they are. And we will speak with you about those categories in your daily life of places and people, pairing that with overt and covert racism and ideology with application to real-time events and videos that are occurring right now. Our charge collectively was to really empower our youth and really empower our parents. We recognize that, first of all, a lot of people don't even want to say the word racial stress anymore. But sometimes you just have to name that thing. You have to name it, and also help our youth affirm the feelings. This is what this workshop is about. This workshop will be one of many workshops that Social Time and Reality will bring your way. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to know what you'd like to learn more about in real time, so that we can help you overcome whatever the barrier is.
All right.
Anyone else? Anything else?
Nice. Perfect.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for your time.
Thank you
Thank
for your
you.
time. Remember to check us out, www.socialtimeandreality.com, and we look to hear from you in real time. Have a good day.
Bye-bye, guys.
Bye-bye.